BLT podcast.
Big, medium, tall.
Little.
Oh, big, little, tall.
BLT. Oh my god.
We'll cut that.
There's a reason it's not big, little, smart.
DLC.
S. Smart starts with an S.
Oh.
What are you?
So, what were you saying about Marvel? The fact that it's an easy way to get information, just to look up. So, don't do it, because apparently Logan will look you up.
So an example. There was somebody that I was playing on my mobile game with, and their name was Falkit, and they had told us their first name and the state they lived in. And because we were like friendly and whatnot. So I was like, Falkit, that's an interesting username. It probably has to do with their name. Mm-hmm. So it's like a play on their name. So then I started looking up their first name and that last name in the state where they lived. Mm-hmm. And I found like them and their previous addresses and like phone numbers and stuff like that.
Previous fucking addresses. That's creepy, man.
Dude, whitepages.com.
That's ridiculous. The internet's crazy.
Whitepages.com has been around forever.
What's
I understand
forever?
that, but why did you feel the need to use it?
What do you mean? It's a quick search. I was curious.
Would you get
For
curious
reference, we're
with
talking
Jennifer
about.
Aniston? Would you eat her booty cake?
Go back to booty.
I'm not surprised. Okay, so.
Do you have an obsession with booty that you don't want to tell us about?
I just love the deflection that he just gave right now by not answering the question.
So.
You just
I'm showing him the results for just his name on White Pages.
Like his whole name, like his first and last name?
Yeah.
one
No
photo.
location.
Whoa.
This whole time, you didn't even know.
Yeah.
That's pretty bananas.
Yeah.
Why does it show my brother first before my parents?
I mean, it's just family members. Maybe
because
it's
you're
B.
more closer to your brother than you think.
We don't even have the same last name.
Why don't you have the same last name? There sounds like there's some issues there. Maybe you should unpack that.
He's
Does it
my-
have anything to do with your anal obsession?
No, but would you eat Jennifer Aniston's asshole or not?
Are we getting paid for this?
No, just for the clever.
She wants it?
She wants it. Like here's a scenario.
No, I'm good.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Who's, name one celebrity you would eat
I would
their
eat
ass
that like
at.
a birthday cake.
Obviously,
Jennifer
it's
Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston.
I mean, like, if I'm not getting paid, like, if there's no incentive. I don't want to. I have no urge or impulse to eat the booty cake.
Would you let your ass be eaten though?
Again, is there money involved?
Not even like a digit, or
Oh my goodness!
Is this a subtle way of you telling us things that you've done in the past?
so you're telling me you've never had anything in your ass?
No.
Not even once when you were like 13 and you watched too much porn and you're trying to figure out why it felt good in the ass?
No.
Yeah,
That was a very
I never would either.
That was a very specific example.
I mean, I know. Oh man, normally bisexual people do that.
Yeah.
I have one butthole story.
Oh, I'm ready to hear that.
So after high school, me and my close friends, we started this thing where every year we rent.
I think Randy's gonna come out here and listen
Cool.
to your story.
We're gonna have a guest appearance.
We would get an Airbnb somewhere and just party for 3 days straight. We do that once a year, and we just did that last weekend. But the first time we ever did it, we were in Long Beach, and so the first time we did it, we had like a shit ton of we had a couple friends come over the first night, and I got a little kinky with this girl. But we both had a little too much to drink, so we passed out. And then the next day, we ended up, because there was 3 stories to this place: the garage, what's it called,
Main room?
Not the main room. It was like
Main floor.
Yeah, like the main floor where the kitchen and lobby was, I guess you could say. And then the 3rd floor was just all bedrooms, just a bedroom wherever you were in bathrooms. And on the second night, me and the same girl, we fled off to the 3rd floor. And one of the rooms had a walk-in closet. Not like full, not 100% walk-in. I'm okay, thank you, Randy. Yeah, but it was just enough. It was just enough for like a big person's shoulders to fit if you were to go horizontally, but then it would go like into like kind of like a hallway status. So that's where we were, and as we start fooling around, I decided while we're doing the doggy, I just want to stick my finger in the buttercup right above the
Buttercup. I like how before you're like, do you eat ass? Do you eat the raisin cake? And then you're like, so I was with this girl, and I decided to put my finger in her buttercup. Her fragile flower.
No. So look, here's the bad part. So I put it in, but I forget to lick my finger because it's dry on dry. Okay, so nothing's happening. And so I went like maybe a fingernail in when I realized nothing's happening. And so then I'm really drunk. I take it out, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to lick it. And I put the same finger back in my mouth, and I go, ah! And then I get my ring finger, and then I put it in my mouth, and then, you know, shit got down. I did that a second time 5 minutes later.
Same thing?
With the other hand, because I was like, oh shit, I did it again, and oh! And then one of the close friends who wanted to cockblock me went to one of my buddies that I brought along, like, hey, go get Brandon. I think he's upstairs fooling around with that girl. So he goes upstairs. I hear my name faintly in the distance, and this motherfucker goes, Brandon! And then goes to the closet because he hears just going on. And then at that moment again, we were in the doggy position, and we're in a pitch dark. There's no like light bulb or anything that happened. So when he opened the door, it was just like so bright, and I got scared because all I saw was a silhouette. And so I pushed her off me like that. And so she was on all fours, so her all fours got buckled, and she just hit the floor and did a full-on like skid mask. And then he just looks at me and goes, hey, everyone wants you downstairs. And I'm just like on my knees, butt naked with a boner out now, like, all right, like. So that was my first butthole story.
That was your first butthole story. What are the butthole stories do you
Maybe
have?
episode 2 we'll do second butthole story.
This is gonna be your recurring segment. Brandon's Butthole Corner. The escapades of Brandon's butthole.
Do you have any butthole stories that we don't know
So
about?
you're telling me that one girl?
No girl ever wants it in her butt.
No, he's talking about sticking a dish about mine.
Yeah, no girls
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
No.
See, so what
No.
happened? What did you do? Did you
No.
fucking butt like?
No,
dunk
I
kick
said
her?
yeah because I knew that's what you were talking about, but no, none of them have.
None of them ever tried.
No.
You never like put their hand down there and been like, shut up.
No.
Bum, 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 bum.
I feel like Logan's not that aggressive.
Yeah.
Usually their hands aren't anywhere near my butt anyway,
Yeah.
because I don't get blowjobs that often.
Oh.
Does
So you
San
don't,
Francisco girl give you blowjobs?
you don't reciprocate oral love or no?
I don't receive oral love. I don't like blowjobs.
Whoa, why?
Whoa.
Why?
That's a
Shocking twist.
That's a topic.
Why? I'm very
Um,
interested.
I just never have. I think I've only ever finished during a blowjob once.
Okay.
And that was with the first girlfriend I ever had sex with, so it was more like
A
face
new-
fucking than a blowjob.
So what? You just don't like the sensation? Have you ever had like a stripper blow you? Like
No,
an experienced girl?
I've never had sex with a stripper. No, wait, that's a lie. I have had sex with a stripper.
Oh my goodness.
I haven't had sex with a quality stripper.
So you paid like $5 for her?
No.
So you had a little hood rat get there on you?
We were in Vegas. We were at the
Of
Sapphire
course.
Club.
Was this the same?
Nope.
No.
Struck out with that stripper. My buddy who lived in Vegas took us down the street to like Cheetah's or something. Low quality strip club. But he knew some of the girls there, so we were bullshitting, and some of them ended up coming back to the hotel room with us. I was trying to have sex with them, but they weren't that interested. And then I ended up like starting to pass out, and then she woke me up interested. We ended up having sex, and that was my 25th birthday, or around that week. And that was why I got an STD check when I went back to Alaska.
Wow.
Smart.
It was like, ooh.
Any positives? Or?
No.
Good job.
So the interesting thing is, I've never tested positive for an STD, but when you deploy, they give you malaria drugs that happen to also be the treatment for some STDs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that I had one, and then I just deployed, and it just cleared that up for me.
I've had chlamydia.
So wait, so you went to Vegas, They went on deployment and then came back and got checked?
No. That was, so the deployed thing was like,
Oh,
when I was like
after?
23. It was
Oh,
before.
okay.
It was way before. My 25th birthday was after coming back from my second deployment.
Okay.
When I had a shitload of money. Went overseas for 5.5 months, came back with 46.5 grand.
Yep, sounds about right.
So I dropped $4,000 on my 25th birthday.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I've only tested positive for chlamydia, that's it.
Really? Is it all gone now?
Obviously.
I'm just
I
making
mean, not
Yeah.
that obvious.
Yes.
Who knows what he's got? Probably got some weird cat diseases.
No, I was dating some jerk in the Navy when I was living in Japan. He was cheating on me. And he was like, "Oh, I didn't give it to you." I'm like, bullshit. Like, cause someone else that you slept with has it too.
Knew a chick, or met a chick that I really liked. Eventually told me that she had herpes that she had gotten because her boyfriend had cheated on her. How much would that suck?
I would be so mad.
So mad.
What's the
So
kissing
bad.
drug? Is it mono?
Mono?
Yeah.
Kissing disease?
Kissing disease?
Cooties.
Yeah, the cooties.
Well, no. That's
Yes, mono.
My high school girlfriend had mono, like, really severely. And you know how you have that, like, forever?
Yeah.
Even when she was, like, sick, we still, like, risked it, and I never got it.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
I mean, you probably got it, but just
No, I got
didn't.
it tested and everything, blood test. Never had it.
Well, okay, so most messed up thing I may have heard is my mom is a nurse, so she'll come home with ridiculous stories. And she came home and told us once that there was a person who'd come in, and it was a young girl, and she came in with her parents, and she was freaking out because it burned when she peed, blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
And it turned out
She had
that
a
she...
UTI.
No, she got herpes because her boyfriend ate her out while he had a cold sore.
No.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Gnarly.
Yep.
The ways to get it.
And that shit don't leave.
Like a herpes cold sore or just a normal
Yeah.
cold sore?
Most cold sores are actually the HS1, herpes simplex 1. Like
That's
cold sores,
crazy.
most cold sores are actually a type of herpes.
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't know if I would. No, I don't even like kissing someone if they have a cold sore. I'm like, that's gross.
I don't like kissing
Face.
people at all. I'm just like, ugh, face in the pillow.
Ass up.
Face down, ass up.
Yep. So did you bring?
That was a joke.
Definitely, probably was it.
Excuse me, I'm a fan of kissing.
Are you?
Yes.
How come?
Because you have that rat's nest on your face.
And what do you call yours?
Yeah, you can't double rat's nest. You can't rat hole a rat
It's
hole.
just Velcro.
Have you guys
It'll just
ever
stick.
noticed that no gay people,
No.
none
they
of
have
them,
them. They have them.
both of them, like both
Yeah,
the male, both of them.
Yeah,
I've never met a gay couple where they both have beards or like mustaches.
I've met them.
I bet you have.
I've met two that both had just mustaches.
Well, that makes more sense
Well,
than
yeah.
a mustache
when
and a
they're
beard.
like when they're north south, then the mustaches don't touch.
But like a beard, it's like the whole face.
Yeah.
Unless you have that little one.
It's growing.
It's okay. It'll grow in someday.
I shave it, that's why.
Why do you shave it?
Why you fucking me like that?
Because you're fun to fuck with.
Oh, I just shave it. New looks. and all
Have you
that.
had any Tinder successes or Bumble, whatever you use?
Yeah. Actually, no. The most recent one, she backed out on me.
Why? Because she thought you were crazy?
No, it was weird. Like, she initiated it first. She went, "Hey, you're super hot," and I said, "Wow, you're super beautiful." And then she went,
Oh.
and then she went, "Here's my Snapchat." So I added her. So that's like code for.
And then you were like, "Hey, let me see that raisin cake."
And no, that's basically code for let's make sure we're both real. Type
Yeah.
Thing, because you can't really fake Snapchat like that.
Yeah,
Unless-
you can't. Well,
Okay, if you have like a broken phone, sure, but
broken. Oh.
yeah, like a
Like jailbreaking.
yeah.
Oh.
And so after like a week, she wanted to meet at the gym for like I don't know.
What girl ever is like, I want to be at the gym?
Well, I assumed it was because there was many.
230-pound girls named Frank.
No, I assumed it was because there was a lot of people, you know, like.
Normally I'm like, oh, oh, let's go to a coffee shop.
Okay, well this girl.
Normally, how often do you do?
She told
Not often
me
now.
she told me she danced for the rain. She was a dancer, like national cheerleader and all that stuff. I don't know. It's either that homework because she was went to school in Corona that way, and so we set a time for like 6 on a Friday, and then I get there at 6 and I text her like, hey, like let me know when you're close. I just got here. She goes, oh, I haven't even left yet. And then at the time she lived like 5 cities away from me.
Oh wow, so she wasn't planning on being there for a while.
Yeah, so if she would have left at like 5:40, 5:35, she'd be there at 6. Let's just say. So I'm waiting there at 6, and then
5 cities in 20 minutes.
In California, that's not.
yeah, they're
good,
big. They're big
That's
cities.
that's not how it should work.
But
It's not how cities should work.
yeah.
California's fucked up.
That's true.
But so like 7:30 come along, and I'm like, holy shit! So it's been like I waited an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I just waited in my car watching Netflix.
Good job.
And then I text her at like 8:30. I was like, "Do you want to just reschedule like to another day?" And she never replied
Oh,
back.
man, she just ghosted you
Yeah, just
after like an hour or
yeah,
two.
just straight ghosted me. And then I went, "Fuck this!" So I drove to Walmart, bought more pre-workout because the pre-workout I took like wore off on me. And then I worked out, and then I was like, "Okay, I don't know what happened." So like I waited a day or two, and then I went to go send her a Snapchat.
And she deleted you?
And she deleted me. She was 100% like she wasn't even in my contacts. And then I went okay. So then I wanted to text her like, hey, like how was your thing you had on Saturday? And then on iPhone, if you block somebody,
It says
it never
doesn't
says it
receive.
doesn't say delivered or anything. It's just a message. It doesn't show anything.
She definitely thinks.
So then I was like, damn, she blocked me too. And
She
then
did
I went last resort. I just went back on Tinder because she didn't delete me off Tinder, and I just went, everything cool? And then I got deleted like a day later.
Wow.
And I was like, but it was weird though because there was no there was no juxtaposition for what happened because even she was saying like I want to meet you like ASAP.
Yeah,
That's
that
why
happens.
online
Yeah.
dating sucks.
Or
Or she was a total catfish and
Yeah.
yeah.
another story about searching for people. I was talking to this chick during my brief stint on a adults only website.
Pornhub?
No, that's not adults only. Where do you think 14-year-olds go? Anyway, was talking to this chick who I was in North Carolina at the time, but she was actually said that she was in Oceanside, coincidentally. She said that she was from Washington, and she would never call or Skype or anything. So I was like, you gotta call at some point. Like, how am I supposed to know that you're the person you say you are? And she sent me a whole bunch of pictures, none of them nudes, a whole bunch of normal pictures, and she was like, well, if it wasn't me, would I have these? And I was like, that means nothing.
Yeah, you can just easily go Google.
Yeah, that means nothing. Ooh, picture dump sites. I'll talk about those in a second. But yeah, I was like, that means nothing. Like call or Skype, or because Snapchat wasn't a thing at the time. So then she stopped talking to me, and then like 2 weeks later, I was in my room and I was bored, like playing on my computer or some shit, and I was like, man, I wonder if I can find her based off of the pictures she sent me. So I started looking through the pictures and looking for like any sort of identifiable information, and it got down to the point where there were 2 pictures that were taken in the same parking lot with the same background, but she was wearing gym clothes in one and holding like a gym workout ball and normal clothes in another. So I was like, okay, these are clearly 2 separate days, so this is a place that she goes to repeatedly.
Yeah.
So I searched the area she said she was from for what I thought the business in the background of the photo was, and I had to like try a couple different ones because it was kind of blurry. Eventually I found the business, found the parking lot that the pictures were taken in. It was a car dealership. I was like, well, you're not going to go look for cars when you're working out. So I went on Facebook and I found the owner of the car dealership and started looking through their friends, and I found her, and it was not the same person.
Of course it wasn't.
How'd you find her though if the pictures didn't match? Oh, so the person you found wasn't the person you matched with, or whatever?
The person in the pictures wasn't the person I had been talking to.
Catfish.
Yeah, catfish.
So then I told her, I messaged her and was like, hey, just so you know, somebody's pretending to be you on the internet. and they sent me all these pictures. They're like, oh, that's freaky. Thank you for letting me know.
Damn.
Yeah.
What's even more freaky was like the word, not the aggression,
Curiosity, man.
the curiosity that pushed you so far.
I mean, that's was like the one thing that I always hated about like online dating was like you never know if you're actually talking to the person they say they are. Thank God I've never had that. Like every person I've always talked to online was always the person they were.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they were all jerks, but
I got catfished once.
Oh yeah, tell that story.
So this was on Meet Me. Now it's called Plenty of Fish in the Sea.
no, I thought it was called.
Those are different ones.
Yeah, those are two different ones.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's.
Because I had both of them.
Bet on both. They're two separate ones.
Same.
So yeah, but that was like way before Tinder and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Meet Me.
That's what the original online dating.
Yeah, and
Meet Me
so
and Plenty of Fish.
I matched with this girl that lived like 2 cities away from me, and we're texting like every day essentially, and then finally one day she was like, so what do you hate most about like females, like what's like the thing that kind of bugs you? And at the time, and it kind of still is, I was like, well, kind of like obesity, like for everybody though. I'm like, I know you can like let yourself go here and there, but like when it gets to like extreme, like your body shouldn't be in that much.
This is why we've never slept together.
Whoa, makes sense.
And I was,
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
and so I was, she goes, well, I'm fat. And so I was like, and I looked at her pictures again, and I was like, well, you got a fat ass, it doesn't mean you're fat.
Yeah.
And so then she goes, okay, shit like that. I didn't realize it, but that was her trying to fucking tell me of the future. And so then we never had a phone call, but then we finally set a date to watch a movie like a week later.
That's just setting yourself up to sit in a theater for 2 hours with someone you don't know.
Yeah. And so then prior to leaving my house, I call her, and she goes like, hey. And I was just all like, whoa, this is super tomboy. And I'm like, hey, like I'm leaving right now. And she goes, okay, I'll see you in a bit. Like it's definitely a girl, but like it was very manly girl. And so
Transgender? Question mark?
no, just girl. It was just
Okay.
a girl.
Just
And
a
so
deep
It was just a girl. It was just a girl.
I would have been happier with the transgender at the time.
Ooh.
And so
What the?
but the thing was like, so when I got there, I sent her a text saying, hey, I'm out front doing like waiting. And at the theater we went to, there was like a main parking lot, like right in front of the ticket booths thing, and then there was a side parking lot behind that. So I parked in the back because this is my first online experience ever.
Oh,
And I was all like, nah, she ain't letting her see where I parked or what I'm driving or nothing.
Good job.
And so I walk around, and then she goes, oh, perfect, I'm rolling up right now, I'm parking. So I'm like, okay. And then
Roll it up.
and so here's the theater, and the parking lot wasn't like horizontal; it was vertical like this. So you saw the aisles.
Yeah.
And so I'm standing here, and I see this pretty thick girl like in the distance.
Thick.
And
4 C's.
yeah,
Thick.
like like And so I'm just like.
She tells her friends.
And again, I'm completely oblivious right now, and I just look, and I'm like, oh, that's not her. And then I'm looking, and then I'm like, damn, like she said she was parking, maybe. And then in my head, I'm thinking like, just like makeup shit,
This is my brain is oblivious to everything. He still is oblivious. It's so funny.
Yeah, and
It's
so
never changed.
And so then she's now like maybe 30 feet away from me. That person I thought was like, oh, that's not her. And now there's like a direct line going straight towards me. And I'm just like, oh no, it's fucking her. And I go like, oh shit. And she goes, Brandon. And I go,
Yeah, that's why whenever you hear me go, Brandon.
and so then I can't remember her name, and let's just call her Kathy. And I was all like, Kathy. And then I give her like just like a over the shoulder like side hug. And she immediately takes that as whatever. And I don't ask anything. I don't call her out or anything. Like, I don't know if it was her like 300 pounds ago in the pictures or if it was actually somebody else in it. So I don't know.
Well, did she look similar?
No, it was so much heavier. I couldn't tell.
Oh.
I couldn't tell.
I have a story about that too, though.
And so like so I don't bring up anything like, hey, what happened within 2 weeks of shit, and
so about that extra 200 pounds.
no, it was like
you did not say you were this big.
it was like a solid $3 heavier.
Wow.
$3. She was 400 pounds. She was not 400 pounds.
She was pretty fucking close. She had to have been like 300. She was big.
300 is not pretty fucking close.
No, that's what I meant by $3. I meant just 300 pounds in general. Like it's just big. And so I'm in my head. I'm like, all right, let's just get through this and then just go home. Just go home.
Movie day.
Yeah, and so.
So how risque
but
can
now,
you get with comments?
But no, here's the thing though. I'm trying to keep it going now. I'm not being the dick and like brushing everything she says off my shoulder.
Yeah, you're just trying to get it over with quick. You're
yes,
like, man,
yes,
this is
yes,
happening.
yes.
I can't stop it from happening. Just gotta lean into it and hope that it ends quickly.
Exactly. And so I'm asking her, so how was the drive and all that stuff? And like now when you text somebody and they just go K, period, and you're like, oh shit, that was intense. So it's pretty much she just like, that same context, but just went like good. And I just went.
Oh yeah, because you gave her that over the shoulder fucking hug.
But wait,
instantly,
whose fault is that though?
Yeah, she gave him the hidden 200 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. I'm just saying like that's why she did that.
It's her
It's
fault.
because.
Like what? I should have had every right just to,
no, you did.
just
but
to walk away, and I just went no. Let's just keep it going. No, but I completely right after that just turned back to me and stuff like that, and so then I go like, do you want me to buy you popcorn and stuff like that? And she says no, and in my head.
You then go, you want some candy? Candy? I could get you, and you want 2? 3?
No, exactly. In my head, I'm like, bullshit. You don't want candy. And so now I go, well, I want a Slurpee. So we go in line, and
I bet you want a Slurpee.
that's my thing. I always need an icy for.
I'm making a blowjob joke.
Yeah, I understand. I'm completely rejecting it right now. And so
for her, but she would probably give such a good one.
Probably she'd probably gobble that like a turkey dinner.
Goodness.
Just nom, 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 just
eating championship prize champion.
Disappear. And so
no, I need that back. It'd be like you're playing with a kid. She'd be like, got your dick. Like, no.
It's like, wait, I need that. Wait.
No, it's right here. You lied.
Like those Japanese guys that like make the thumb disappear, like
I was talking about
oh.
like with kids, we're like, got your nose.
Yeah. And so, just pretty much that's how the conversation's going on now. And we're early to the theaters, so we watched the previews. So like, not the actual like dim the light previews.
Yeah, like the trivia.
Like the Fandangum fucking previews. And again, I'm like, oh, like that actually looks cool. Like what like shit like that. And she goes, yeah, it's alright. And so now I'm just all like right here, sitting down, just going, are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm all like, I should have just left. She's giving me now cold shoulder, and then
giving you like 1.5 cold shoulders.
Yeah, and so I probably get like I forget what movie we saw, but I want to say like maybe 20 minutes into the movie, I'm like boiling up with everything now in my head. I don't even say like, hey, I'm going to the restroom. I just get up and walk to my car. I just leave her in the theater, and then the next day she texts me like, hey, are we okay?
No, she
Yeah. And then
Oh my god, girl. She did not.
Yeah. And I was just all like,
Basically.
that was ridiculous. Like,
No.
holy shit.
I could not. I'm so glad I've never had a catfish story.
But that's the thing, though. I don't know if it, like, is it still a catfish if you, like,
You
lie?
don't even remember
Like,
it's,
everyone
like,
lies.
her face.
Everyone lies about, like, couple pounds. Like, I know on my profile right now, like, I look like I weigh, like, 30 pounds less. Like,
I think-
just all because of angles, though, too. Like,
Yeah,
if you just look at me at the right...
I
Like,
think if you don't have current pictures of what you currently look like, I would say it's like definitely if it's like.
So what
your
about right now?
weight.
What if I post a picture with a goatee and I have a beard? Is that...
No, that's not. That's different.
Well,
Like,
those
I feel
chubby
like-
cheeks, I don't know, that's close.
I
You're not
feel
really
like
catfishing them,
I
you're
feel
more
like
like
an extra-
hamstering them.
a couple a couple extra pounds.
I
That's
don't
like
like
a
that.
little far.
I don't like that joke.
I don't like being a hamster.
like hamsters.
Extra pounds is like a big thing though. If it's like under 100, then okay. But like
What do you
over
mean under 100? You can gain 50 pounds and be like, this is me. This is when I was a cleaning model.
Do you think people think that's much of a difference?
Yes.
I think it just depends on where it is.
You want to see me when I weighed like 220?
I think you already showed me.
Yeah.
So what's your catfish story?
I already told you my catfish story.
The one with the heavy weight?
That was mine with a heavyweight.
No. I actually have one kind of like that with a heavyweight. So, I was in North Carolina and then I moved to Monterey. But when I was in North Carolina, I knew somebody from Monterey. So when we went there, because it was me and a couple other people that moved, she hooked us up with her friend group. And one of her friends
Good friend.
talked on Facebook. She was super cute. Was like, oh yeah, you know, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. So we ended up, like, because I was on a base and I didn't have a car at the time. She picked me up from the base and we were going to go get food or something. When she picked me up, I realized that those pictures were definitely kind of old.
Kind of, or really old.
Like
Kinda
young?
old.
Like she looked young old?
No, like, they were from her high school graduation. It'd been a couple years and she wasn't playing sports anymore.
Oh.
So it was like, this is unfortunate, but it's fine. I can be friendly. So, I was friends with her. She ended up taking me to a house party, maybe not that night, but like a little while later.
I hate going to house parties.
Dude, I
Yeah.
fucking love house parties.
I don't like going to house parties when I don't know anyone. Because then
Well, yeah,
I
that
feel real
sucks.
awkward.
Well, see, okay, so I went to a house party with her friend group, and we like went to bowling or
See,
some
that
shit.
makes sense.
The interesting thing about that though is that her friend group, in the friend group, there was only one that was attractive.
Of course.
But one of them was like a 6'+" like German security guard lady. She got drunk and we convinced her to give my like 120-pound shy friend a lap dance.
Sullivan.
Honestly, pretty close. He was like from
I
like,
think you told us this story because
He
we're
was-
like Sullivan.
well, because he was from like the whitest part of Kansas. He was like a little boy,
Kansas
virgin.
is not that white. I lived in Kansas.
What part of Kansas?
Junction City, Cracktown.
I'm saying like he was from like upper
Oh, yeah.
tier
No, that's white.
neighborhood
Yeah.
of Kansas City.
That's white. Yeah.
Never
Never mind.
Like when I say upper tier, and you're like, oh yeah, that's white.
It's white. That's for sure white.
But
Where I live, not white.
But so the only one who was attractive, and they were all like, no, you can't like flirt with her, you can't hit on her, she has a fiance, blah blah blah. So I was like, fine, whatever. Off
She
limits.
came onto you, right?
Off limits, that's fine. As we were leaving, the friend that I had gone to that party with left her phone at the house, so we had to go back and get it. The next morning, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. I was like, who is this? And it was that chick. When the person I knew had left her phone, the girl with a fiance stole my number out of her friend's phone and texted me the next day.
What'd it say?
I mean, it was just, hey, what's up? But that
Oh.
evolved into, like, multi-month
What are you doing?
long. Well, she was a booty call.
Yeah.
Well, we were each other's booty call. She had access to the base, so she could, like, come and pick me up from the barracks.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we weren't supposed to have people in the barracks,
Of
so there were
course.
only a couple places that we could go to have sex. There was a whole lot of car sex. Down by the ocean, or a parking lot, and as weird as this is, the most secure parking lot on that base was the graveyard parking lot. So I had a lot of car sex in the graveyard parking lot on that base.
I think car sex is like the best. I don't
Well, I
know
mean,
what it is.
It depends.
Are you 6'4"?
Not for you, baby.
That's what I was
But
saying,
For
it
someone who's
depends.
small like me, it's great.
Yeah, you and your tiny boyfriend. You guys are in there. It's like a suite. Look, I can throw you over there. I can throw you over there. There's so many options.
Well, the funny thing is like if it's like a van, it's like great.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
All
you're
right.
having car sex in vans with people.
Like
Did
big white vans.
they get you? Did they get you candy?
Tinted
afterwards?
windows too.
How old were you?
Wait.
Were you walking home from school?
Hey, little girl, I got you some candy.
The funny thing is that it was a white van. It was not.
Like an Astro van or like a
No,
fucking
It was
minivan?
a minivan.
Oh my god. You couldn't even put the seats down.
No, he did.
Oh.
So the seats are already out. He will probably watch this because he watches everything I post.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about that when I was telling stories. Like, oh, but it's
Who cares?
10 years ago. Who cares?
Yeah.
He's like one of my closest friends. He's also my ex, and he had just broken up with his girlfriend. And he like picked me up from my house because my dad wasn't answering my phone calls, and I had to go to the airport.
His girlfriend or his like wife of 25 years?
No, his girlfriend.
So he's not like some 40-year-old dude
No,
who's
he's
in
my
high
age.
school.
He's my age.
Why did a man your age have a minivan?
It's his mom.
It was his mom's. He was probably like 17 at
He
the
has
time.
No, this is when I was like 21. This is
Oh.
like a couple years ago.
Okay, so he was sharing cars.
Yeah, and he just broke up with his girlfriend, and I called him because I was at my best friend's house, and I had to go to the airport the next day to go back to Japan, and my dad wasn't answering his fucking phone because he's this dumbass, and so I called him, I'm like, hey, can you come pick me up? Like, I have a suitcase, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll bring the van. I was like, cool.
It's still such an awkward...
Sounds like a rape story
Can
beginning.
you just say minivan? It would make it sound so much better. Versus just be like,
Minivan.
oh yeah, what do you need? Yeah, I'll bring the van.
The minivan.
You need me to pick you up, little girl?
And then he dropped me off, and then he was like, and then he like grabbed me and kissed me, and he's like, oh, you should come back. I was like, okay. So I put my stuff in my grandma's house, and then went back out to the car, and we did it in my grandma's driveway. Because he was parked in the driveway.
The only car sex I had was my ex-girlfriend in high school, because that was the only place we could. Like, we lived with our parents. There was nowhere. It was the same thing with you, just parking lots and fucking spots like that.
The Mormon girlfriend?
Yeah, this is the Mormon.
This is the Mormon.
Though she was pretty strict too, like only root beer and stuff like that, no cussing.
Got another story off this one. Let's go.
And so, like, I remember we found this perfect parking lot. It was pitch black. There was no lights or anything like that. But still, even though it was a truck, but I was 6'4" by like 16, so I peaked really early, like
Yeah, we can tell.
height wise. And I was in wrestling too. So by the time when season was off and all that stuff, like your hips get really tight and everything like that, or at least mine did at least. And so we're having car sex, and almost every position, my hip would just start cramping. I don't know if you ever had a hip cramp, but you have to like fully extend your body and like extend your thing, and you gotta go, oh, my hip. Like you gotta just go like that. Like you turn 80 in 2 seconds when this happens.
I've
And-
had guys who've done that. They're like, oh!
My hip. And so I
I know
remember.
she's over here like, yeah, I've ruined a couple guys since. Trust me, I know
And
that.
my dad's truck, in between the two front seats, there's a center console that could flip open and be a seat, or flip down and be like an arm guard. So one time I have her over it, and I'm on the back, and since I'm tall, like I can't stand up straight and just jackhammer. I have to like, my back is like up against the ceiling, so I'm getting like scoliosis, and at the same time like my feet have to be like really wide too, and I'm still like too tall for the truck, you know, and my like knee to my foot is too long for my knees to be on the seat, so I have to like do like a weird sumo squat and be in this position.
Is this the truck that's currently in the driveway?
Yeah. And so, yeah. And so, I remember I get a cramp, but I'm in a position where I can't move, so I just like hyperextend into her. And I have like a long shaft. It's not like girthy or anything like that. And so it
It's not
just,
small, it's thin like a pencil.
it's just long. And so it just like hit like her inner wall. And she can't go anywhere either because she's curved, and she's like, you know, planted like this on the center console, and I'm over here just like, my hip, and she's all like, no, what you do? She's going like that, and that was bad.
I love that, like, she's so strict about everything but sex. Like, this is a strict Mormon, but she'll have sex.
Well, it was like you know, like hormones go pumping up and stuff
No,
like
I don't.
that.
'Cause I dated a hormone, or
A homo? He did.
I dated a Mormon, and it never went that far. So.
Well,
Apparently
also
you're
hated
just,
me.
I
apparently you're
pushed.
just bad.
I pushed it hard though.
His parents also hated me because they did not like that I dated multiple guys in high school. So.
What is the shortest amount of time that you've ever had between meeting somebody and having sex with them?
Like
One
40
day.
minutes.
40 minutes?
Yeah.
Tell that story.
Mine's been a couple hours.
Okay, no. Tinder doesn't count.
It wasn't Tinder.
Bumble and none of those.
Oh.
No, it was no
okay,
dating
never
thing.
mind.
It was last call at a bar.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Was it?
So we were all going out. You know Paul? Paul?
Yeah.
So I took Paul to the country bar that I took you all you
Is
guys
this after you took us or before?
prior.
Okay.
Before. And so me, him, he calls his girlfriend, and we bring someone else, and we're having a real good time. And I'm like,
Paul is a large, flamboyant man.
Oh, I
large,
want to meet him.
large flamboyant black man too.
Oh, that's even better. I want to meet him.
Yeah.
You
And
need me on the podcast.
he's hilarious, and so he can tell the story better than I can, honestly. But he wingmaned it, blacked out too. So
Oh. I thought you were talking. Okay, that's what you meant by blackout. Okay, continue. We're talking about alcohol.
yeah, alcohol.
I was like, what does that mean?
So essentially, it's pretty much last call. Like it's like 5 minutes from the lights turning on, and I forget where I was, but I was at the bar getting my last drink, and this girl who all her friends left her, and she just wanted to keep drinking, I guess. She just happened to be right next to me, and then we just started talking, and then within 2 minutes, we're macking in front of the bar.
Yeah, you have a reputation for that in that
He
bar.
really does.
But
I remember when we went. Same thing happened. That was so gross.
no, that was because they were giving me shit. That's why I brought her over. That's why I did that. That was on purpose. That one. That one was on
I
purpose.
was like, this is so annoying.
I had to. They were giving. You remember that? They were
I
giving
do,
me
but
shit.
It was
So
gross.
it was like putting my foot down, like fuck you guys. Like, and so Paul, he's the Uber ride home. The car got him pretty woozy. Apparently he was fine until he got in the car.
Of course, car sickness.
But she's already ready to go. And so we take her back with me. We have to take 2 Ubers. And so when I get back, Paul's already yakking on the side of my street. And so after we think he's okay, we go and place him in the couch in the living room. And then now the girl I just brought home is like petting him, like, you're gonna be okay, honey, like you're fabulous, like, oh, like doing that. And then he's like, oh, thank you, like I hate, because he has a phobia of throw up, so he was kind of like mentally disturbed right now at the moment. No, I'm talking like phobia, like you go like this, and like just right now, just hearing it, if he were to listen to this, he'd probably take headphones off or stop just even talking about it. And so he has to yak one more time, so he goes and runs to the backyard and yaks, comes back, and then now she's still like patting her. Everyone else is like in their like area to sleep, and then he just goes, just go, honey, go with Brandon, just go.
Oh, good friend. You've been a good friend.
Yeah. And so, but right when he said that, I ran to the bathroom and I brought a trash can, just in case, because there's no way he was gonna make it to the bathroom if he had like a wake up to like spute. Yeah. So I bring it over to him, and so me and her immediately, like, I'm already carrying her to my room, and my
double points. Not taking her, carrying her.
And for those who don't know, my bedroom is in the very corner of the house.
Those who don't know.
Everybody who does. One wall shares it with my parents, and the other wall is my little sister's 4-year-old little sister's room. So I have family on each wall, and they're pretty thin.
That's
the walls.
Pretty bad area for you to be in.
Yeah, but we were super drunk and like turned on for each other that nothing mattered. So we're going at it.
Oh no.
Like.
Brandon, what do those noises mean?
No, like aggressively too. Like we're just boom, boom, boom. Headboard, just ba, 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 and then. I don't know what it is, again, so whatever reason, I think it was just because I was drinking. Whenever we flip on the animal style, normally we're always facing the headboard towards the wall.
Animal style?
Doggy.
You just said
I
doggy.
like how your voice dropped. Animal style? Doggy.
Doggy.
Some people call it doggy,
But
I don't.
But whatever position we were in, it was just much easier to flip and be reverse side facing where your feet would go on the bed.
Yeah.
And apparently the frame, or like where the legs go on my bed, are not on the very corners. They're kind of like inward. So if you sit on the ends of the bed that's not near the headboard, it can easily just like tip for a second. And so
bad
With-
feeling about where the story's going.
I weigh 270. I don't know how much she weighs. And so pretty much like it gets, back to 100 degrees real quick. The bed tips over in the air like a straight, like up, like triangle
I
angle.
just have a mental image of you, like what's that movie, Dr. Zhivago, where the guy's like riding the bomb down. He's like going over like, woo!
Kinda. She again like does a face plant and skids.
This is a habit with you.
It flings me forward, but I just do like one of those things where you your ankles get tripped over wires. So I just like do one of these, and I land on my hands like this, and my feet are up on the bed, and the bed is stuck way up in the air. And I'm all like, oh, maybe it's stuck on the headboard. Cool. So I take one foot off slowly, and then the second this foot is like halfway to the ground, the bed just does a WWE, just boom. And so then I just go, oh my God, that definitely woke up everybody in this house.
But you didn't care before, but now you care all of a sudden?
Well, yeah, now
we're
we're
like that sometimes.
now we're caught. Okay, now we're caught. So then
Before with the... You weren't caught, but then...
He was focused at that point.
Right?
And so we're laughing, and I'm laughing too. Maybe within 2 seconds, I get a text from my mom saying like, "You got a girl in there?" ? And so then I just
Your mom
Got a
takes
text from your dad. Get her done.
and so I just look at my phone and I just flip it upside down, and then we continue. And then the next,
We continue.
and so then we woke up in the morning, and it's like 11 p.m. or something like that, and I hear Paul in the kitchen eating breakfast with my family.
Aww.
And then I
He
hear,
is that kind of person.
yeah, and
Cinnamon rolls.
and then I get another, and then I completely forget we're having a family party in like 2 hours. So my mom's like setting up for a party and everything like that.
And you have a random chick in your room.
Yeah, and then she goes, "Get her out of here now." And I just go, "Oh shit!" And so
She is not having.
yeah, and so I just go, "Are your boots in my room or are they in front?" And she goes, "I think they're in the front." And I was like, "Well, there goes the kicker. I could have lied and said I fell off my bed, but whatever." And so, because that's happened before, I've fallen off my bed before, like during
I
the
believe
dream.
it.
And so,
Your bed's not that big.
yeah, I know. And so
No.
they,
Me and Ryan slept in it last night.
yeah, you weren't there. Sorry, man.
I'm not judging that I wasn't there. I'm just saying, with their track record, you may want to change your sheets.
And so I take her home, and then when I come back, by the time I come back, family's like maybe 20 minutes away. And so my mom's two best friends, one of them is my godmother, and the other one's the godmother of my brother. So they're really close family friends, but they're like single parents, one divorced, one widowed. And they like to be like the cool aunts, and they go,
Oh man, my aunts.
yeah.
Ooh.
So they go like this.
All
So
my
like
aunts.
maybe like 30 minutes into like us talking like house school and all that stuff,
So
Cindy.
who's the girl?
No, and then she goes, "So you dating anybody, Brandon?" One of the aunts, and my mom from like a couple feet away just goes, "Yeah, Brandon, are you dating anybody?" And so then,
Not happy.
and so then I look at her and I was like, really, you want to do this right now in front of everybody? She goes, "Yeah, are you dating Brandon?" And then they see the tension and they go, "What happened? What happened?" And then I go, "I brought a girl home last night and we got pretty aggressive and loud." And then she goes, "What?" And they were like, "Why would you do that?" And I was like, "I don't have money for a hotel or anything like that. It's my room. Like, why? Why is it my?" And then
My room.
yeah, I'm like, "It's my
Do
room.
what I want.
Doors were closed."
How old are you?
This was like last week.
It was like a year ago, maybe a year
I'm
and a
gonna do
half.
what I want in my room.
A year and a half ago. Yeah, that was
What'd
my.
your mom say?
She just got over it.
Oh, what did it be like? This is not your fucking house, though.
On the subject of hotels, one of the favorite dates I'd ever been on, it was my second date with this chick, and we went to a movie. And before we got to the movie, she was like, "Just so you know, nothing's happening tonight." I was like, "Okay, bet."
Oh no.
When we came out of the movie, it was uncomfortable for her to walk because I had been teasing her for 2 hours. And she was like, "Well, what are you going to do?" Because, again, in Monterey, at the barracks, couldn't have girls in the barracks. So I was like, "Oh, well, I was thinking about just going back to the barracks." And she was like, "No, I want to go to a hotel." I was like, I don't know, I don't really want to go to a hotel.
He's such a dick.
So I made her call the cab, call the hotel, and pay for both.
Smart.
Jesus.
That's why I never would say anything. I'm like, well, if it happens, it happens. I would try to make sure it doesn't happen, but normally it was not the case.
So that kind of happened to me like a couple months ago. So one of my old coworkers is a total cougar. She's like 50 something. Yeah, maybe. She's like 50 something, and she maybe younger. She's maybe 40 something. But either way, she's
older than you.
She's about almost double my age.
Yeah, but he has no concept of that. He was talking to me about San Francisco, and he was like, "So what's it like being with a super old chick?" She's not. Anyway.
Continue.
And so she just became a divorced woman, so she wants to like party now, and so she knows I party, so she's like, "Oh, take me out partying," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And so, but the way she was saying it made it sound like I'm having my F on now that I'm single because
having my F on.
Her fuck on. And so
having my fuck on?
You know, because prior to her marriage, I think he was like her second one. So she never had that kink out before she got married or anything like that. And so apparently it came back to her. And right when we went to her house, we were just hanging out, having a couple drinks. And then before we went out, she was like, just to let you know, nothing's happening tonight. Like, we were just, and I was like, I get it, like, whatever. Like, maybe 20 minutes at the bar we ended up going to, she just starts, like, macking on me, like, super aggressively in front of everybody. And I'm like, holy shit.
She was probably like, I got this younger man.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And then she overdrank.
Sedation.
And when I took her back to her place, when I took her back to her place, she falls on the ground to take her shoes off, and then I'm like to help her to her bed, and she like flops on her bed, and she just goes, "So we fucking right now, or what are we gonna do?" So, just like all drunk, I'm like, "We can," and so then it's about to go down, but then she gets really sick, and then nothing happened, and then I babysitted her all night. And so then now, like, because every time we texted, she texted me, and so now she just texted me like a couple days ago, like, "Are you scared of me? Like, I didn't mean to rape you," like stuff like that. But yeah.
Oh man.
Most awkward interaction after one of the more awkward interactions after. Met a chick in high school. We'll probably tell the other side of the story at some point, the before part. But she was super fucking cute. She ended up coming over. Again, she was like, "Hey, don't want to do anything tonight." I was like, "That's cool." We just hung out on my bed, watched a movie, made out some, fine. She ended up leaving. Years later, we were talking, and she was like,
"I really wish you did something that night."
No, we were talking, and she was like, "Yeah, when we had sex." And I was like, "We didn't have sex. Like, we hung out, but you said you didn't want to do anything." And she was like, "Oh, you should have forced me." And I was like, "What?" Yeah, no, verbatim. I was like, "What the fuck?"
No. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There's a difference between forcing and like just being aggressive.
No. Yeah.
Like she could have been like, "Oh, I don't even know. Like I like rough sex, but I don't. It's like I don't want you to force me to do it, cause that's not fun. Cause it's happened to me, and it's not fun."
Casual.
It's happened to me.
What the
Okay, I guess I'll tell a crazy story then as the last story, because we're almost at an hour.
You can't just throw that out there in the middle of story.
When I lived in Japan, he will name nameless because he's a douchebag anyways,
His name was Mark.
It was Mark hunting a while.
I'm pretty sure he's
Japan.
I'm pretty sure he's
Idiot.
We're gonna have to bleep that racism.
I'm pretty sure he's currently stationed in California, but he's a Marine that I was seeing while I was still a senior in high school, and the rule on the base is like no Marine or Navy person, no military can date someone who's still in high school, even if they're over 18. So we never went out because he was like scared he was gonna get in trouble. He was like a strict Marine, like, "Oh, I'm gonna follow the rules and everything."
Except for the one about raping people.
So
he's okay with that one.
Let me continue. He's the one who got me to do the butt stuff, which I was already comfortable with. And I think his last day or something, he's
like, I can't handle it. How do I do it?
We went to a hotel, and I, like, begged my mom to, like, get me to stay at his house. So I was, like, still, like, no, I was
making bad decisions. You were still making
Yes.
bad decisions.
So my mom, I was like, Mom, can I just please stay over the night? She's like, fine, whatever. Like, I was like, he's leaving. And my mom had met him before and didn't like him because he was a Marine. But
She's smart.
that's why she doesn't like Ryan.
Yeah.
He's an ex-Marine.
Yeah, that and her fucking carpets.
So we had stayed at the hotel. We, like, spent the night there. Probably had sex, like, before we went to bed. And then, like, we went to bed. And he thought I was awake. But I was not. And I woke up to
Halfway.
him. Yeah, I woke up to him, like, basically
Just doing it
just
with a
having
pillow.
sex with me. Yep. I definitely was not awake. And and then, like, an hour later, I was like, he's like, oh, did you... We were talking about something. I was like, yeah, I wasn't awake. And he's like, you weren't? And he felt, like, really bad. He, like, started crying. He felt that bad.
Oh,
and I was
no.
like...
He didn't notice you snoring or anything like that?
No, this is like...
I thought that was moans of pleasure. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Well, there's, like... Before I wake up, there's, like, this half period of, like, where I'm, like, half awake, half asleep. Like, I, like, kind of know what's going on, but I'm not really sure what's going on. So he thought that was me being awake, but I wasn't awake, because I was still trying to go to bed. I was still sleeping.
Damn.
So, yeah, that happened to me a couple years ago, but that's not the person who gave me chlamydia, so. I still don't like him, though, because he's a dickhead.
Bringing it back around.
Yeah. Okay. So, you guys have any other closing stories? Or is mine
Just
the
gonna
best?
wrap this podcast up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it with that.
What?
We're gonna wrap it with that.
Yep. That's
Okay.
Yeah. I was another douchebag, but oh my just single years, I hated it so much.
We're gonna have to just ADR some closeout.
No. Do you guys want to plug your social medias, Brandon?
No, I'm
Your
okay.
Instagram?
It's Oviat Visuals. So yeah.
He's kind of like a super cool photographer.
No
Do you
biggie.
want to, get naked and take pictures of you?
I haven't yet to done that, so
I have yet to done that.
please, I actually need that. That'd be awesome.
Actually need that.
What? You can probably ask my friend Alba. She'll probably do
I just
it.
want a bigger scope of range for what I can surf
Yeah, but
for.
you don't tell girls like, hey, you want to get naked for me? I need it.
No, I don't need it if you want it.
I'm just saying, I don't need to get. I'm just saying if you want it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
My friend
I'm pretty
Alba-
open. I'm
my
pretty
friend-
open.
My friend Alba would probably do it.
Just flex for him. You gonna flex for the camera?
No, I'm okay.
All right.
This is Logan. Deja.
Oviat Visuals.
That's his name.
That's how we're gonna start referring to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, visuals.
No, I'm gonna start calling him Mr. Cart.
Cart.
Yeah.
Why?
Because apparently smart starts with a C. I'm so Cart.
Okay, that's BLT. Bye, guys.